Hey guys, GTN Official here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the i12 TWS AirPods. Huge thank you to Nokis.com for sending these to me. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So, as you guys can see, Nokis did send me 2 pairs of the brand new i12 TWS. So if you want to learn how you can win one of these pairs, stay tuned. But in the meantime, let's get into the review. First off, let's start by comparing the box of the brand new i12 TWS to the older i10 TWS. So if you look here, first you'll see the most major difference is the size. The box is slightly bigger for the new i12s. It does look a bit more premium, well packaged. This time it's not packaged sideways, which I do really appreciate, so thank you, Nokis. And also the TWS label does look a little bit nicer than the weird black looking label next to the i10. Now let's get into unboxing the i12s. I have just taken off the tape and plastic wrap, so thank you to whoever packaged this. It was a lot easier to take off than last time, but let's open it up and see what's inside. So if we start by opening it, I'm gonna give it a little shake. Ooh, very neat. Okay, so we'll put this to the side for now. We have the AirPods themselves. We'll look at those in a second. Under that, we have a much nicer tray. This is like really fancy. I don't want to say fancy, but very nice packaging. Some sort of Chinese tag. Look into that later a little bit. Put that with the packaging. We do have a bit more packaging. And what's really interesting, and I find this really interesting at least, is that this time they are so identical to AirPods, they're not even using USB-C. They're using Lightning. Now, I find this really interesting because I don't know how likely it is that they have the correct licensing to use Lightning cables, which Apple, I believe, does have to give out licensing to do. But it is very fascinating, and these AirPods, from what I've seen, will definitely be more likely to fool someone than the old i10s that have the lights on the front and the gap right here. So, next, after the charger, we have a manual. It's in Chinese and English, so very helpful right there. Set that there. And let's get into the AirPods themselves now. So taking off the packaging, it's a very, very soft packaging. I really like it. Wow. Holy crud. Just compare these to the i10s. If someone looks at this, they're going to be like, oh, cool AirPods, dude. But if someone looks at the i10s, oh yeah, that's a cool knockoffs. So, this is the i10s, the i12. This is insane. It is a fair bit lighter, too. Just like the real AirPods, it feels closer to their weight. And the color, I can see, is slightly different. It's a little bit harder to notice that on camera. And you will also find a new reset button in the back because the i10s had an issue with resetting. You'd actually have to let the AirPods themselves die and then reset them by recharging them. So let's get into the AirPods. Okay, so once again, not many external differences, although this is a minor update, so the external differences are the biggest change, other than lightning charging, so no one's gonna be thinking, oh yeah, that's obviously fake if they see the charger. And even more close to the real thing, a reset button as well. So very, very nice. Well done, Nokis, or whoever made these. Let's get into the AirPods themselves. Oh, actually, before we do that, how about we talk about this clasp? Now, I do have to say, this is, in my opinion, the one weakness compared to the i10s. The i10's clasp does feel a little bit sturdier, even if it is weaker. I do still think that this will last for a long time. It seems to be a tiny bit misaligned, actually, though, which is interesting to me because i10s were aligned perfectly. You can actually see the gap right here if you look. But I think, other than that, these are so much better than the i10s in nearly every way. So let's look at the AirPods themselves. So if we open up the case, we can have 1 and 2. We do seem to have lights going, which is interesting. Don't know how I feel about that. We'll have to see. So, here are the i12s. Very nice looking. Very, very, very close to the real AirPods. If we set the i12s here, once again, as per usual now, comparison to the i10s. Look at a size comparison. They are just about the same. A little bit lighter on the i12s, but mostly the same other than that. So now we are going to actually get into the AirPods themselves. Okay guys, so now into connecting the AirPods, which is just as simple as last time. Simply click on the TWS. As you can see, I have the old i10s there too, and they will connect. And something interesting, I did notice they have lights. I don't personally like those, but no worries at all. I was getting worried there for a second, but they turn off as soon as they connect to your device. So when you start playing something, people won't see the lights and think they are fake. They do feel a lot lighter though, which is interesting to me. I think if there's more technology in them, they'd be heavier, but I'll have to see how they hold up. So let's test out the video playback. By the way, guys, I want to thank you for 2,000 views on my last video on the i10s. I really appreciate it. It is really helpful. But first major issue resolved is that there is no video delay anymore. There was a slight issue, wasn't huge, where it would be about a half a second delay on the i10s from when the person talked in the video and when you'd actually hear it. But now it is perfectly synced up, so there is no problem with hearing the video. On top of that, I feel that the surround sound actually works a little bit better. So I did run it through a Dolby surround sound test, and it fared a little bit better in general than the i10s did. I was able to hear more clearly what was in my left ear and right ear. And another thing is that even though these are lighter, they feel, maybe it's because of that, because they do seem to be the same shape, they feel more comfortable. I don't exactly know why, they feel a bit more comfortable than the i10s did. They fit in my ears a little bit better. What's interesting to me is that I do notice some defections on them. It is hard for you guys to see, so I'm going to try and focus it as best as I can. There is a minor defection on the left earbud. The build quality is a bit more iffy this time. So, very interesting to me. Not what I was expecting, but so far so good for the actual quality of the earbuds. Next, let's test out the buttons. So one thing I want to comment on first of all is that it is a lot more accurate now. Last time it took me about 5 tries to get it to work. It did work, it just wasn't great. And the most important thing, the biggest change that I'm happy with, they don't even mention this on the Nokia's website. This is just an insanely good change. I don't know why I love it so much, I just love it. Double tap was reassigned. It used to be skip song or skip video. Now I know that's a helpful feature, but it was reassigned and now it's volume down, volume up. That is so helpful. I am so thankful that they did that. Now the battery life on these is going to be a little bit better than last time, holding just about 4 hours, so maybe 30-ish minutes more than last time, which is definitely a helpful thing. And of course, the case will provide 3 charges, and all you have to do to put them in the case is just slide them in with a bit of a satisfying click. Also, unlike last time, this light actually does do something unlike the i10s, where here on the i12s it just flashes, and I believe 3 flashes is showing me that it's at about 75% battery. A nice feature indeed, but I don't know how often I would be using it necessarily. Though the i12s had a few minor issues, overall they really are great AirPods clones. Okay guys, now it's time for the fun part of this video, the giveaway. If you want to win your very own pair of i12 TWS AirPods, all you have to do is go to the link in the card at the top of the video or the link in the description below. You will be able to win your pair for free. Thanks for watching, and this is GTN Official. I'll see you next time.